The following is a special presentation of TNN Motorsports.
Hi, my name is Dale Earnhardt Jr., and I'm a race car driver.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s childhood idol was his dad, Dale Earnhardt. In 1996, Jr. drove into the next level here at Myrtle Beach.
This kid can drive, and I am not kidding you. He is passing guys on the outside, the inside.
Now, 1998, the Busch Series season is 17 races old. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has found victory lane 3 times, opening everyone's eyes, including those of his dad. Tonight, Dale Jr. goes for 2 consecutive wins at the track where it all began. Celebrating 50 years of NASCAR stock car racing tonight, live from Myrtle Beach Speedway in South Carolina. It's the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series on TNN Motorsports. The Myrtle Beach 250 tonight in front of a packed house. We've beaten a weather gremlin that might have caused us problems, and it's nice and clear, and we're ready to go racing tonight, live on TNN. Hello again, everybody. I'm Rick Benjamin. Great to be here with you on a Saturday night. We've got 250 laps of exciting short track action coming up here in the next couple of hours, and we're glad you could be with us on your Saturday night. And we're welcoming to the broadcast booth tonight a 2-time Busch Series champion, gentleman who won this race just 3 years ago, Larry Pearson. Great to have you with us tonight. This is a tough racetrack to get a hold of, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. They just repaved this racetrack 2 years ago, I think, and already it's getting wore out from the heat and the sun down here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's eating tires up. It's going to be a very slick racetrack. The guy that has the most patience tonight will probably be the winner.
Well, one guy who certainly hopes to get to victory lane tonight. He's really burst onto the Busch Grand National scene this year with quite a splash. He'll start third. You saw a few pictures of him a moment ago. Dale Earnhardt Jr. standing by with Randy Pemberton.
Well, he's also third in the point standings this year. Really leads this division in just about every statistical category, including money won, laps led, miles led, you name it. Dale Earnhardt is on top of it, but only third in the points. Junior, you're starting third tonight, but we talked earlier, you're a little bit concerned about your chassis setup. Tell me about it.
Well, we've just been struggling all day long with the AC Delco Chevrolet Monte Carlo, but we qualified well, and that gives me a little bit of hope that we might have this thing straightened out. Tony and the guys have put their heads together and changed a lot of things all day long, trying to make the car comfortable to me. And, you know, it's just been a long time. You know, I got a lot of laps at this racetrack, but that advantage don't seem to be paying off here. It just depends on who's got the best handling race car.
Okay, good luck tonight. Well, they'll have 3 pit stops to try and figure it out, but like he said, he's got a lot of laps here. He made his first start here back 2 years ago. Now let's go to Mike Hogwood, who has the pole sitter. Mike?
And that pole sitter is Tim Fedewa. Now, he's hardly won once this year. That was in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. This is the same car that made it to victory lane in Nazareth. Tim, you were telling me earlier that qualifying today, that winning the pole was the last thing on your mind.
It really was. You know, we just wanted to get this thing ready to race since we couldn't adjust the car after qualifying, so we thought we'd put a race setup on it. Maybe it was a good qualifying setup. Hopefully it's a good race setup too. We're just happy to have the Scott Kleenex brand Chevrolet up front. You know, it's a good run for us. We got 2 cars in the top 10 for base motorsports. So, you know, hopefully we'll have a couple cars in the top 2 at the end of the night.
Tim Fedewa, good luck tonight. Matter of fact, Tim ran well here last year and told me earlier today that he feels this racetrack owes him one. Tim Fedewa, one of the favorites, Rick.
He certainly should be after, as you said, Mike, he led 80 laps here 1 year ago. Maybe this will be the night things turn around. Packed house on hand at Myrtle Beach Speedway for the NASCAR Busch Series. We'll be back. Our coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series Myrtle Beach 250 is being brought to you tonight by Texaco, a world of energy. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Myrtle Beach Speedway tonight on TNN Motorsports for the NASCAR Busch Series. There you see Tim Fedewa's Kleenex Chevrolet. Your AutoZone race analysis tonight, more than $350,000 on the line for these 35 drivers. Our distance, a little more than 134 miles, 250 laps around here. Elliott Sadler set the race record a year ago at more than 81 miles an hour. This will be the 11th time that NASCAR Busch Series has run here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Larry Pearson, challenging racetrack. We'll talk more about that in a moment. First, though, let's take a look at our starting lineup tonight. Fedewa, your pole sitter. Curtis Markham subbing tonight for Dick Trickle in the 64 car on the outside of row 1. Second row, Earnhardt Jr. in the 3. Randy Porter back in the series tonight in the Universe 4 in the 48. Third row, defending Busch Series champion Randy LaJoie in the Fina Chevrolet, and Elliott Sadler, and last year's winner here in the Phillips 66 machine. Fourth row, Mark Green in the Timberwolf 37, and Lyndon Amick back in the series in the Scana Pontiac. Fifth row, Joe Bessie from Maine, the Power Team Chevrolet, and Buckshot Jones in the 00, the Pontiac. Sixth row, the 52 car. That's Kevin Grubb, the Grubb Motorsports Chevrolet, and Jason Keller was quick at practice here in his own KEL car, the 57. Seventh row, Jim Bound in car number 78, the Mark III Motorsports machine, and Mike McLaughlin in car number 34 from Waterloo, New York, in the Gould's Pumps car. Jeff Purvis in row number 8 in the 4. David Green back in the series in the Stanley Pontiac, the 36. Ninth row, Matt Kenseth, who's won twice this year in the Lycos Chevrolet, and Shane Hall in the Big A Auto Parts car, the 85. 10th row, Elton Sawyer, the Barbasol Ford, and Mario Gosselin making his first start from the Hooters Pro Cup Series. He's from Florida in the 71. Row 11, the 63, Tracy Leslie in the Lysol Pontiac, and Kerry Earnhardt makes his first Busch Series start tonight in the Channellock Chevrolet. Ed Barrier, who won at Hickory on TNN earlier this year in row 12, the 77 car, and young Casey Atwood, a story we'll tell you more about tonight. He's joined the Bruco Motorsports team this year, and he's driving car number 27. 13th row, Tony Stewart, who had a problem in qualifying in the Shell Pontiac, and Glenn Allen Jr. in the Luxair 99. The 14th row, Andy Santerre in the 47. Phil Parsons in the Duraloop number 10. And we move further back in the 35 car starting lineup. Hermie Sadler in car number 29 tonight, and Mike Dillon in the 72. Row 16, subbing for Robert Presley, Scott Legacy, the road racer, in car number 59. That's the Kingsford Charcoal machine. And the 89 car, and a driver making his first start tonight, that is Brian Smith. Final couple of rows, the 56 Jeff Crow, Jason Jarrett in the 32 car will round out our field tonight. They have 7 drivers taking provisionals here this evening. Mike Cope, the last of those in the Slim Jim Chevrolet. Larry Pearson, 35 cars. A lot of guys need a win here tonight. What do you look for in the first 50 laps or so here this evening?
Well, I look for Earnhardt Jr. probably to go out and try to dominate like he did last week. But it's going to be hard tonight. He's got to show a little more patience, and unless they've got the car working like they did last week, and then he can probably lap the field. But he's going to be hard to beat. This was his home track. He ran here weekly last year, and he's going to be hard to beat. But I think that patience will pay off. This track is getting old again, even though they just repaved it, and it's going to eat some tires up.
Got an interesting group of drivers in the top 10 tonight, and some big names will start further back from the top 10. So we ought to have some dandy competition tonight. We're glad you're with us live on TNN Motorsports at Myrtle Beach. Our coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series Myrtle Beach 250 tonight is being brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. And by Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We'll be on board with 3 different Busch Series drivers tonight. Shane Hall, the Big A Auto Parts Chevrolet, lines up 18th. The Duraloop Chevrolet of Phil Parsons, he'll go from 28th tonight. We'll also have an in-car look at Kerry Earnhardt's Channellock Chevrolet. He starts 22nd, making his first Busch Series run. Brother Dale Jr. up in the second row, ready to go. 250 laps tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway. We are so glad you're with us live on TNN Motorsports. Larry Pearson, a slow pace. The safety car is in. Fita will bring him very slowly out of turn 4 and come up through the gearbox, and we'll see what this first group of laps looks like. Ready to go racing at Myrtle Beach, and we are underway. Gets the jump in the 64. We're on board with Kerry Earnhardt. He's outside Ed Barrier racing through 1 and 2. You've got Markham, your leader. Randy Porter up to second. Fedewa hunting third, gets inside Dale Earnhardt Jr. and grabs the spot away, and Randy LaJoie is in there as well, and there's a guy who needs a victory.
Yes, Randy definitely is a victory, and he's running very well here. I talked to him a little bit this afternoon, and he feels like he's got a good shot to win this race.
Mark Green gets the 37 car in there too for 6th. Randy Porter giving chase to the leader. Here's LaJoie in 4th. His teammate Fedewa, the pole sitter, is 3rd as they come out of turn 4 to complete the 3rd lap. Dale Earnhardt Jr., who started 3rd, he's been shuffled back a couple of spots now behind LaJoie and Fedewa. Curtis Markham subbing tonight for Dick Trickle in the Schneider trucking car out in front.
It's good to see Curtis running. very strong. He's a driver that deserves a good break, and he's got a good car tonight, looks like.
Dale Jr. there in 5th spot. You've got Mark Green in 6th. 7th is Elliott Sadler, who won here a year ago. And then in 8th, you've got Lyndon Amick, who is from this area. He's got South Carolina backing on that skate of Pontiac. And he qualified 8th here tonight. So you've got some good race cars up there in that front group.
Lyndon is another guy that deserves a break. I mean, he's ran well this year in a few races, and you know, he's had some bad luck in the other races, but Lyndon, he's a very good race driver.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. qualified 3rd, as Randy Beverton told us at the top of the broadcast, dominating many categories of the Busch Series standings in this his rookie year. 3 victories, the only driver to score 3 wins, and a dominating run last Sunday afternoon on the Milwaukee Mile. Here is the lead battle. Randy Porter in the 48 up behind Markham in the 64, Fedewa in the 33, and Porter gets turned sideways, has to get out of the gas. He saves it. Randy Porter, a surprise qualifier up front tonight. Started from the 4th spot, gets back on the button, but loses some ground.
Yeah, I think Fedewa got off the corner just a little bit better than Randy did. Randy might have slipped just a little bit, and Fedewa just couldn't help it. He just got up behind him and gave him a little shove there, but he's gained control. He's going again.
Porter back underway. He settles into 5th. We'll show it to you once again. This is coming out of turn 4. Fedewa right behind Porter.
Yeah, Porter, he didn't get on the gas as quick as Fedewa did, and Tim just ran up on him too quick, and it was not intentional.
So Randy Porter settles down. He's back underway, and everything is fine back there. A little further back in the pack, the 4 of Jeff Purvis, the 17 of Matt Kenseth. This is back in 16th and 17th, and right in front of them, an interesting story. The 78 car, Jim Bound, has taken over as the driver of the Mark III Financial Chevrolet this week. And Bound is running very nicely, too, and limited starts in his own car. He's been very fast at times, so it'll be interesting to see if Jim Bound can make things happen in the 78 car.
He's running pretty good so far. He can just, just take his time, and he'll have a good finish tonight.
Bound is 15th. Purvis is 16th. Kenseth is 17th. Talked to Matt Kenseth before the start of the race, and he thinks they're going to have a great run tonight. He thinks his car is very much ready to get up and contend as we move along here this evening. This race will be run a little differently from what you might be used to seeing. First time they're going to do this here in Myrtle Beach Speedway. There's going to be a yellow flag at lap 80, another one at lap 160 for 5 laps. Similar to the competition caution of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, except the cars won't stop. They'll get 5 laps of caution to come in, make all the changes they need to, and come back and go racing, and everyone will pick up their positions.
That's true. That's because they don't want anybody getting hurt on pit road. There were 35 cars, and I don't think they have enough pit stalls here to accommodate all the cars. So they're going to throw a caution, and everyone can come in at a very slow pace and just take their time because they don't want anybody getting run over on pit road.
The battle for 15th once again. Jim Bound in the red and white 78. Jeff Purvis in the Lance Snack Chevrolet, the 4 car. Look back a little further up. This is for 6th. Mark Green in the 37 has the spot. Sadler in the 66 is 7th. Takes a look to the inside as they hit turn 3. Can't make a move.
Right now the cars will stay on the bottom of the racetrack because their tires are pretty fresh still. But as the race goes on, you'll see them start washing up the racetrack, and they'll get a lot higher and higher and higher as the tires wear down just a little bit.
Elliott Sadler trying to make a move inside. Mark Green to take over 6th spot. Can't do it. Lyndon Amick hanging right in there in the 35. His first start in a long time. This is for the lead. Pole sitter Tim Fedewa down low. Takes the Kleenex car inside Curtis Markham in the 64. So we've got a new leader here on lap 16.
It's good to see Tim running. I think he said the qualifying deal was a fluke or something like that, but he seems to be showing like that he can run up front.
Randy LaJoie, his teammate, the 2-time Busch Series champion, hunting 2nd spot in the Fina Chevrolet. He goes inside Markham. Give LaJoie 2nd spot.
He's a Charger. LaJoie is. I mean, like I said, he thinks he can win this race tonight.
Started 5th did Randy LaJoie. Amazingly, he is not with a win yet in 1998. He's 4th in Busch Series points, but he's more than 300 markers out of the lead. The pride of South Norwalk, Connecticut, up to 2nd spot here in the early going.
Yep, there's still a lot of races to go. Randy can win. He can put together a streak there and win 4 or 5 in a row. You know, they've got a great race team, and they just had some bad luck this year.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. riding in 4th behind Markham. Your leader is Fedewa. LaJoie is 2nd. About half a second behind his teammate. Randy Randy's a cagey guy. He's not an old veteran, but he's certainly a veteran. You got to think he's going to be happy to ride for a while.
I think he will be. You know, like I said, patience is the key to winning here, especially with the track the way it is. And he's a very smart race driver, and I don't think he'll do anything silly or stupid or anything to jeopardize his chance of winning tonight.
As we mentioned, this race will be run basically almost like a hockey game. 3 periods. You've got an 80-lap, an 80-lap, and then a 90-lap segment to close it out tonight. And as Matt Kenseth told me before the start of the race, you've got to win this one on the racetrack. You won't be able to win it on pit road tonight. Let's go downstairs. Randy Pemberton.
Our leader right now has had trouble from the beginning with his radio communication. Obviously not a problem at all with his chassis setup, but as we get further on into this run, some 60 laps, if the car happens to go away, they can talk to him, that is the crew, but he cannot reply. So they're going to have to make some chassis adjustments based on hand signals, or at least wait till they come down pit road. But right now he is hooked up and on a string, so no problems other than the radio.
Been a good bit of criticism back and forth about the Base Motorsports team this year. They've had a tough year, 1 win to show for the 2 cars all season long, but tonight they certainly seem to have everything figured out. As we take a look at your Napa field standings at the top of the screen there, we take a look at the 6th through 10th positions. Mark Green 6th, but he's going to give that spot up to Elliott Sadler. And look at Jason Keller up there in the hunt. Larry, you were saying earlier, Jason had a good race car tonight.
Jason's got a very good race car. He's out there, he's running unsponsored, which is amazing to me. I mean, as much as it costs to run these deals. And Jason's a very, very talented race driver. And he's had some good runs this year for an unsponsored car. That's amazing. And he's running well tonight. Hopefully he'll pick up a sponsor pretty soon.
Mark Green gets shuffled to the outside. Give Keller another spot as he advances up through the field. Lyndon Amick was 8th. He's right there. And Joe Bessie's on the move. He's going to get into the middle of that battle. There's the 57 of Keller moving up another position. He's up to 7th. Bessie sitting 9th. Trying to climb up in there and get into that 5-car scramble. Bessie won his first career Busch Series event last fall on CNN Motorsports. Dover Downs International Speedway gunning for win number 2 here tonight. Right now, though, this one in the hands of the Base Motorsports Chevrolets. Tim Fedewa out front, Randy LaJoie 2nd. We're back with more at the beach in a moment. Be sure to experience Country.com, your personal source for all things country, from race cars to country stars. Connect up with TNN's official webpage, Country.com. Our weekly race day commentary there every Tuesday for you on the TNN Motorsports portion of Country.com. Randy LaJoie riding 2nd. He contributes to our TNN Motorsports page quite often, too. But there's your race leader, Tim Fedewa, putting Jason Jarrett a lap down in the 32. This battle a little further back in the back. Look at Casey Atwood in the 27, the 99 of Glenn Allen Jr., the 77 of Ed Barrier, as we show you action on the back straightaway here in Myrtle Beach. Andy Santerre, Phil Parsons, Glenn Allen in the 99 has moved up nicely in this one as well. We jump on board. Phil Parsons down the main straightaway.
There you go. You can see the cars in front of him there. You have to let off a little bit earlier when you get into turn 1, when you got cars in front of him, because you don't want to run over them. Back on the gas real easy. At this point here, you just really have to take your time and try to follow the leader, basically.
We watched 100 laps of late model stock car action here earlier tonight, Larry. Those cars seem to want to run way down low. Now, these drivers seem to have found speed a little higher on the track. Is it because it's later at night?
Well, what you try to do is keep your RPMs up on these cars. If you run on the bottom of the racetrack and your tires are if it's sticking really, really good, it'll bog the car down and you won't come off the corner as fast as you need to. And, you know, I think we saw a couple of passes in the late model stock race, the cars on the outside. And they keep their RPMs up and they're able to make the straightaway longer is basically what you're doing, and you run faster.
We're on board for a moment there with Kerry Earnhardt in the Channel Lock Chevrolet, running in the 31st spot at the moment. Good scramble, pretty deep in the field here now. The 72 of Mike Dillon. Look out, Mario Gosselin in the 71 gets crossed up in his rookie start in that machine.
They're starting to get crossed up just a little bit there. They're in a pack there, and they want to get away from it. What they're trying to do, and they get on the gas a little bit earlier, spin the wheels coming off the corners.
Back riding with Phil Parsons in the 10 car, the Duraloop Chevrolet. He's right there with Dillon. It's a battle for position. They're back around 28th, 29th, 30th.
Phil's had some good runs this year. being our owner driver, he's took care of his equipment very well, and I'm real proud of him. There goes Mike Cope sliding in there. Got in just a little bit too hard, probably.
Mike Cope and Kerry Earnhardt door to door. Cope started shotgun on the field back in 35th, the final provisional tonight. He's come up through the pack a little ways. He's up to 30th now. Kerry Earnhardt back in 31st spot.
Kerry's doing okay, though. You know, he qualified well. He made the race, and there's a lot of good cars that went home. And it's going to take him a few races to get used to these cars, but he's going to do very well.
Jeff Crow in the Clearwater Chevrolet back there, the 56 car. Also in that mix of machines back toward the back of the field here. We've run 36 laps already at 250 tonight. And remember, at 80 laps, NASCAR will throw a caution. There will be 5 laps of caution. Scoring will hold, and everybody will be able to come out of pit road. NASCAR officials think that'll give these drivers about 5 minutes to get 4 tires, gas up the car, maybe make some adjustments. Larry Pearson, you were saying that they might even be able to make a shock change in that length of time?
I think so. I mean, they give them 5 laps, and you can basically do what you can, you know, in those 5 laps. You get to go back on the racetrack the way you came in, so you're not losing any positions. So, you know, if you need to make a spring change or if you need to make a shock change, if you can do it quickly, then why not?
Tim Fedewa in the 33 is the race leader. The pole sitter dropped back at the drop of the green. Curtis Markham led the first couple of laps in the Schneider Trucking 64. And then Fedewa got things sorted out, went back to the point, and he has held that spot ever since. So Tim Fedewa is out in front of the 33 car. His teammate Randy LaJoie hanging right in there in second spot. We'll be back at Myrtle Beach. Hey, Christmas in July coming up. We've got a huge month of motorsports here on TNN. July 25th, Saturday night under the lights. The Pep Boys Indy Racing League at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the 2nd annual Vision Air 500. High speeds on the high banks. Join us Saturday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, July 25th. TNN Motorsports, the Indy Racing League, the Pep Boys Indy Racing League. What a great show that was last year. Hope you'll enjoy our coverage this year on TNN Motorsports. There's your leader, Tim Fedewa in the 33, putting rookie Andy Santerra lap down in the 47. Coming up on the 52 of Wayne Grubb. Going to show you a little bit of tough times here that Fedewa's had working traffic. This is coming up on Mike Cope's machine. They rubbed on each other, didn't they, Larry?
They sure did. What they're doing, Fedewa's out there setting such a tremendous pace. He's lapping cars left and right, and he's catching them more quicker than what they thought they were going to catch him, and they're getting a little itchy now. It's about time for something to explode.
Fedewa away clean from that one, moves by the 52 machine, puts that car another lap down. Working down the main straightaway. There's Jason Keller in the 57. He is 5th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has just given up 4th, actually. So Keller now up to 4th spot. Mike Hogwood, Jason Keller and his team, they've got a good night going here.
Oh, they really do. This is maybe their best race of this season so far. Jamie Jones, the crew chief, says, you know, when you don't have a sponsor, there are a lot of long days and a lot of long nights. You have to watch every single penny. We don't have the same crew that everybody else does. But when you come out and you hit on something like they have tonight, literally smiles on everybody's faces here. Jason, for his part, well, he hasn't said one word since the green flag flew. He is really driving a determined race here tonight.
That means he's happy. When you're out there racing, you're having a good time, and you're not fussing with the crew or anything like that. He's happy with the way the car is, and it looks like he's running very well.
Leaders moving by Phil Parsons' machine. We took you on board the Duraloop Chevrolet for a moment. There's Keller in the 57, sitting 4th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 3, and they have gotten by Curtis Markham, so I believe you can give Keller 3rd spot now.
That's great. Jason's moving right on up.
Sure is. Curtis Markham gets shuffled back. Looks like the handling in the 64 is starting to go away because there goes Elliott Sadler around him as well. 64 car seems to be off the pace. We'll try to find out what's going on in the Schneider Trucking pit area as we watch Markham, who started surprisingly on the outside of the front row and led early. He is slipping back here early now as we have 198 laps remaining. Let's go to pit road. As we watch the 64 of Curtis Markham going even slower down the back straightaway. 56 machine of Jeff Crow going by on the outside. There's Mark Green now about to take the measure of Curtis Markham as he continues to backslide on board with Phil Parsons.
He's got a problem there. Curtis does. He's slowing up way too much. I would normally say he was saving his tires, but he's got a problem.
As we watch NASCAR timing and scoring presented by MCI tonight on TNN Motorsports. Markham back on the gas in front of Parsons. He's got Lyndon Amick in front of him. Now Amick has gained a spot. Markham in danger of slipping out of the top 10 here. We've run 54 laps. Remember, at lap 80, there will be a caution period, 5 laps of caution to give everybody a chance to pit without risk on pit road. NASCAR always concerned first and foremost with safety of drivers and crews. Take a look out the back of the Durham Chevrolet now. Your leaders, Fiedewa, LaJoie, Keller, Markham being shown in that top 10 still, and Joe Bessie. Let's go to pit road. Randy Pemberton.
Well, the car started missing about a dozen laps ago. They tried to flip to a backup ignition system. That wasn't it. They're not quite sure. Fuel pressure, everything is just fine. The bottom line is it's missing. They think they may have a battery going dead. They definitely think it's electrical at this point. Nothing they can do about it. Boy, they wish that 60-lap mark was right now so they can take a look at it.
Yeah, you can see the fire, the flame shooting out the exhaust pipes is coming down there, and you can see the car missing.
Scott Legacy driving tonight in the 59 in relief of Robert Presley. He's Presley's teammate in the Geschichter Motorsports group. They've added a second car to that team for selected races this year, full-time next year. And with Presley busy up at New Hampshire International Speedway and Loudon, Scott Legacy jumping into the 59 here tonight. He is a veteran road racer and a fine road racer. Ran a full season in the NASCAR Craftsman trucks as well. Knows his way around the short tracks, trying to get hooked up in the 59 car. Look at Matt Kenseth and Mike McLaughlin. That's a good battle for 10th and 11th. McLaughlin is 11th. Kenseth has just gotten by him for 10th as they come down the main straightaway. Larry Pearson, those are two guys I think we'll see up at the front before this night is over.
Most definitely. Mike McLaughlin, he's a very smooth race driver. Reminds me a lot of David Green. He knows when to go and when to back off. He don't take any unnecessary chances. Of course he can. You've got two of the points leaders right there, and they don't want to take each other out, so they're going to race each other clean and just follow each other until they get up near the front toward the end of the race, and they'll do what it takes to win the race.
Shane Hall, the Big A Auto Parts Chevrolet. He's an area driver here from South Carolina. We go on board with Shane at the moment.
Shane from Greenville, up next to Spartanburg where I'm from, and he's had some good runs this year.
Running along in 19th position right now. Back on board with Kerry Earnhardt in the Channel Lock Chevrolet. His first Busch Series start. Jason Keller up front. Jason Jarrett in the 32 goes by, as does Tony Stewart. Talked about the Visionaire 500 broadcast coming up in a couple of weeks here on TNN Motorsports. Tony Stewart is the Indy Racing League point leader. He's won 2 races in that series this season. He's the defending champion, and he is coming on strong in the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. In car number 44, the Joe Gibbs Racing Pontiac. Stewart sitting 20th. He backed into the wall in his second qualifying lap. Didn't hurt the car too badly, but it certainly set them back tonight.
Yes, it did, but he got that good first lap in. That's what counts. And, you know, I guess the car felt so good on the first lap, he just tried a little extra hard on the second lap and just lost it a little bit.
A lot of brother combinations in NASCAR racing. Here's one of them. Mark Green and David Green back in the Busch Series in the Stanley Pontiac. David Green with a great run last week in his maiden ride in that car at Watkins Glen. Strong here tonight. Let's go to pit road. Mike Hopwood.
David Green was not happy at all with this car in the first practice session. They made major adjustments in it, and he is flying now. He started 16th. He is now up to 7th. Since he joined this team, he's had 2 fourth-place finishes, and the last time David Green raced here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, well, it was 1996, and on that night, he won the race.
He loves this racetrack, gets around here about as well as anybody in the field tonight. He's dogging brother Mark Green there for 6th position now with 185 laps remaining.
He is smooth, and it takes a smooth driver here at Myrtle Beach. You know, you can't just stomp on the gas pedal. You'll spin the wheels, and believe it or not, I mean, it feels like you're going faster, but actually you're just getting slower and slower and slower. We got a car in the wall coming off the 4.
Got some trouble on the racetrack as we watch the Green brothers. One of the cars bouncing off the wall. Tony Stewart, his second trip into the fence here tonight in the Shell Pontiac. Stewart belted the wall evidently up in turn 4. He's about to lose the right front on that machine. So Tony Stewart with a tough night going on. The Small Soldiers, the new movie that's coming out, the paint scheme on that car, the Shell Pontiac. Tim Fiedewa, those got everything going his way. He's led the first 67 tours tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway. We'll be right back. Our coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series Myrtle Beach 250 tonight is being brought to you by the more than 2,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Alka-Seltzer, the 100% solution for heartburn, indigestion, and pain. Back at Myrtle Beach Speedway, in trouble for one of the bright young stars in motorsports. Tony Stewart of the Shell Pontiac got it in the wall in turn 4. We'll show it to you a couple of different ways. Larry Pearson, you're thinking that perhaps a tire was cut down on the right front corner
I think
of that
so.
car.
Well, no, right there, it looks like he got into some fluid or something. Looks like he might have. I don't think he blew a motor.
Hard into the wall.
I still think he might have cut a tire there. Can't get it right there. That might have been the car behind him putting on the brakes or something, laying some smoke out or something like that. But when I looked up, he was just headed straight for the wall.
Tony Stewart behind the wall as they work on that machine. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, the 64 car getting ready to pit. I will tell you that was an alternator problem for Curtis Markham. Now, this is very unusual here today that the Busch Series is here. They're doing everything in one day. That means they come here, they practice, they qualify the cars, and they race them. The unique thing about that is after they qualify, they're not allowed to touch the race cars at all. They're allowed to do maybe just 4 or 5 things, beginning with they're allowed to remove some tape from the grill, also adjust the air pressure, add fuel, adjust wedge in the track bar. Only the track bar can they do if they can go in through the back windshield. They're not allowed to adjust the track bar if they have to go in on their car through the right side tire. They can also add a cool ice box for the drivers. Not many of them using them here this evening. The one thing that I find funny about that, not being able to change much on the race car, talking to some of these drivers early on, Larry, the bottom line was they didn't think there was any way you could actually qualify up front or win the pole, not be able to touch your race car and still win this race. One of those drivers that told me that was Tim Fedewa. So what do you think about that, Larry? It's kind of different tonight.
Well, I think he's wrong. I mean, he's running a great race. He sat on the pole and he's pulling away from everybody. I mean, his teammate Randy LaJoie is staying with him, but it's one of those deals, you know, you have to qualify with what you think the track is going to be like tonight for the race. And, you know, basically it's a guessing game, and Tim guessed very right tonight.
That was Randy Pemberton with our AutoZone Tech Fact here tonight on the procedures these teams have to follow. A little different from the norm in the NASCAR Busch Series. 72 laps are complete. At lap 80, we will have a caution for 5 laps so everyone can pit. But we're about to go green once again. Tim Fedewa, your restart leader. Randy LaJoie, his teammate, is right behind him as they move by the 63 car of Tracy Leslie. Field away down into turn 1. Everybody by cleanly. That was our first caution flag of the night for the Tony Stewart trip into the wall. Third spot belongs to Jason Keller. He's not in your picture at the moment. There he is, just at the top of your frame. 2 Base Motorsports teammates, very stout here in the early going.
Very strong. And I think Jason can run with him if he just got a couple of lap cars in there between him. It'll be interesting if he can get past those 2 lap cars. But you're right, Tim Fedewa and Randy LaJoie both are very dominant.
So Mark Green there in 5th spot. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is back in 6th in the 3. There's Keller in the 57 car. This is a battle for position up toward the front of the pack. The 3 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr. won last week in Milwaukee. He is 6th. David Green is 7th.
There are some faster cars back in the pack running 6th and 7th like David Green. But they've got the lap traffic in between them, and it just doesn't look like they can run as hard.
Fedewa and LaJoie, your top 2 down the back straightaway. Randy LaJoie able to stay right there with Fedewa, who was the fast qualifier tonight. Three laps to go until the first of 2 competition cautions here tonight.
Now, if you're running up front, it's a good deal. If you're running way back in the back, you know, somewhere you want pit strategy to come into play somewhere, and tonight it just won't happen. I mean, you know, if you got a real fast pit crew, they can pick you up a few spots, but that won't come into play tonight. It's a mandatory deal where you come in, but again, they wanted to do it for safety's reasons.
It can be the great equalizer. Keller in the 57, Sadler in the 66. That is for 3rd spot. And here's Dale Earnhardt Jr., David Green, and Lyndon Amick as they battle it out for 6th, 7th, and 8th. And the caution will waive the next time around. Matt Kenseth into the mix in 9th in the 17 car. And Mike McLaughlin there, you saw the 34 and 10. Caution on the Speedway, the competition caution being waived. Fedewa will lead him to yellow. Now the scoring will hold. Kenseth will get by the 34, or stay by the 34, we should say. So Kenseth will move to 9th spot. McLaughlin will be 10th. And our first yellow, competition yellow of the night, the first period, you might say, is over here. We've run 80 laps. And the field will come in behind the safety car. 5 laps of caution. Tire changes. You'll go for 4, I'm sure. Full load of fuel and maybe some adjustments.
Exactly. If you're Tim Fedewa, you don't want to see this. He was comfortably in the lead. Well, I won't say comfortably, but he was the car to beat by far. And this will give the other guys, 4th, 5th, 3rd, to make some small adjustments, and maybe they can stay with him.
Mike Cope stays out on the racetrack to lead a lap and get the points. Downstairs, Randy Pemberton.
Well, Tim Fedewa and Randy LaJoie both hitting pit road, the 2 leaders. One thing, the problem that the 33 car had earlier, remember we told you that he could not reply to them on the radio. They are going to make a wedge adjustment, of course, change 4 tires, fill it up with fuel. But I saw him go by the last couple of laps. He had his hand out the window, signifying that his car was indeed loose. So they're working on it from that respect. The 74 car is in. No chassis adjustments other than they are going to go ahead and remove a rubber from the right front. Randy LaJoie said his car is extremely tight in the middle. Let's go to Mike Hogwood.
Well, on Elliott Sadler's car, he says he's been spinning the tires off the corner when he hits the gas. So they're going to take some rubber out of the right rear. They're going to go up 3 rounds on the track bar. They're making a major chassis adjustment there. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in car 3 says he is a lot looser than he was in practice today. So they're going to try to tighten him up. To Randy.
Well, the 57 car, Jason Keller, still sits on pit road. He gets beat out by a few cars, but it doesn't matter. Everybody can return to their positions. They were running on the racetrack. He changed 4 tires, adjusted the track bar, down a half a round, filled it up with fuel. Mike.
Talking to Robbie Reiser, crew chief for Matt Kenser in car 17, he says, hey, we are a little loose too, so we're just going to make a few minor adjustments to tighten her up, and we should be ready to go for the next segment of this race. Rick?
Matt Kenseth back up on the Speedway. He will restart from 9th position tonight on the Lycos Chevrolet, the Robbie Reiser machine. Randy LaJoie will restart 2nd when we get ready to go here in a couple of moments. 5 laps of caution. Lyndon Abick back up on the Speedway. No positions will change during this period. Back with more at Myrtle Beach. Hey, we told you it was a big month of racing here on TNN Motorsports. In 2 weeks, the Busch Grand National Series moves to Virginia to South Boston Speedway. The Lycos.com 300 presented by Valleydale Foods. Live coverage Saturday night, the 25th of July, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on TNN Motorsports, right before our coverage of the Indy Racing League at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Quite a point battle in the NASCAR Busch Series with 17 races down. This is race 18. Here are your top 3. Matt Kenseth is the point leader by 20 points over Mike McLaughlin. Dale Earnhardt Jr. only 2 more points behind with 23-32. Earnhardt is the leading winner with 3. In top 5s, though, Matt Kenseth has 9 on the season. That's usually a key to championships. And Larry Pearson, you're a 2-time series champion. You know what it takes to win this thing. As we get ready to go green, we'll take a look here in a moment and talk more about the point chase a little later on. Your leader is Tim Fedewa, the pole sitter tonight. Look at LaJoie to the outside. Maybe some team orders there. Who knows? Randy LaJoie grabs the point as we start lap 81.
I don't know. Remember the start of the race, Fedewa got a bad start also. So maybe he has a gear problem or something. It just takes him a couple laps to get going.
Tim Fedewa had the lead. Look at him get in the back of the 63 of Tracy Leslie there. LaJoie has grabbed the point. Now LaJoie is 4th in points. He's the 2-time defending series champion. Winless so far. He is 4th in points in 1998. Let's show you the restart one more time as they came off 4. Looked like Fedewa, it did miss a gear or just moved over.
Yeah, he had a problem on restarts.
Back underway as LaJoie, your leader. Fedewa is 2nd. The 63 of Leslie is not on a lead lap.
But if you remember, I think you get points for leading the race also now.
Yes, you do.
So, could have been some favoritism there. But I think Tim can come back up there. He just needs to be a little bit patient with the lap traffic until he gets into Tracy there just a little bit. He just needs to be a little patient because he's got a very, very good race car.
That lets LaJoie scoot away and add to his lead as they work through 1 and 2. Keller there in the 57 is 3rd. You've got Elliott Sadler, who won this race a year ago, riding 4th. Keller to the inside of Tracy Leslie, who is a lapped car. Leslie is 19th. He is the first car on the 2nd lap, 1 lap down. Trying to get up there and perhaps have a chance at getting his lap back. Casey Atwood in the 27. His first start for Clarence Brewer's team. He's running 20th the lap down.
Chase is a very talented race driver. He's good to see him get back.
We page back, look at this battle. David Green in the 36 car. He is 6th. Lyndon Amick is 7th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is 8th. Mike McLaughlin is up there in 9th spot. The 30 of Mike Cope. Not in that battle. He is 22nd. He is a couple of laps down.
I think McLaughlin has gotten around Matt Kimball to move up a spot there. He's starting to come up a little bit. Once they get strung out, you know, and get in line, no danger of any lap cars or anything like that. I think McLaughlin will start moving up a little bit. He's very patient. Good race driver.
Kenseth in the 17. You can just see him there in the back of the frame. That's the black Lycos machine. He is 10th. 2 wins on the season. His maiden victory back in February. We were at North Carolina Motor Speedway in Rockingham for his first win when he gave Tony Stewart the bump and run with 1 to go. Grabbed the victory. Let's go to pit road. Mike Hogwood.
Well, Tony Stewart doesn't have too much of a race car left, especially on the right side. Talked with T-Motor Joe Gibbs a moment ago, and he said that Tony was feeling a little bit of push, and then the tire, right front tire, just heated up and blew, and it sent him straight into the wall. The damage is far too great to get back in the race. The 44 is out for the night.
A lot of fans wanted to see the Young Indy Racing League champion in action here tonight in the Shell Pontiac, and unfortunately his night a short one. He's a nice young man, good guy, good race driver, really one of the bright young stars of the sport. As we take a look at our Napa Field standings update at the top of your screen, carrying you through our scoring loop tonight. David Green in the 36, the Stanley Pontiac. He is 6th. He's come from 16th tonight. His charge to the front, though, seems to have slowed down a little bit. What do you think, Larry? Has he got more in that race car?
Well, I think he does. I think, you know, we're not even halfway yet. And I think David's the type of driver that will take his time and take advantage of things as they come to him. And very good race driver. I mean, he's patient. That's the kind of guys I like. You know, I tried to pattern myself after my dad of being patient, you know, and sometimes it hurt me, sometimes it helped me. But I think David's that way. And, you know, I think that's a lap car in front of him there. And he's just taking his time, waiting for the opportunity to make a clean pass.
We put 91 laps on the board. Randy LaJoie is your race leader in the 74. Tim Fedewa, his teammate, right behind. A moment ago, we saw Lyndon Amick and Dale Earnhardt Jr. battling for 7th. We're live at Myrtle Beach Speedway on CNN. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach Speedway in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Rick Benjamin and Larry Pearson topside tonight on TNN Motorsports. Randy Pemberton and Mike Hogwood are on pit road for us. Coming up on 100 laps complete in a moment. There's your race leader, the Fina Chevrolet. 2-time defending Busch Series champ Randy LaJoie came from the 5-hole tonight at the drop of the green, and he is your leader. Grabbed it on the restart to begin lap 81, and he is riding nicely in front of his teammate Tim Fedewa in 2nd spot. Working around the 89, the Juba Glass machine. First-time starter in the show tonight in that car. That's Brian Smith, who's a local driver. There's Fedewa, the 33, and look at Jason Keller coming right up there to challenge for 2nd spot.
Jason's hanging right in there. He's doing very well. I thought Fedewa, the way he ran the first half of the race, the first part of the race, I thought he would come back up on Randy and take the lead back. But obviously Randy's stronger than I thought, and Jason's Dale's stronger than I thought. Even he's hanging with Fedewa, but Randy continues to pull away a little bit.
We've heard from our pit road crew how they have lost radio communication with Fedewa. That's got to make it hard to adjust the car on that 5-lap pit stop.
Well, what I used to do, I guess going back to the old days or whatever, if your car is tight, you would, you know, bang on the roof a little bit. If it was loose, you would tap the door, and that would let the crew know, you know, what your car was doing. And I think that's what Tim did as he was coming down pit road before, was beat on the roof or the door, whichever one they said before the race what meant what.
Then of course you have to remember those signals once you're out there in the heat of battle.
Well, I couldn't do that. I had put a message on my dashboard to remind me which was which, or I'd get confused.
As we watch the top 3 cars work through turns 3 and 4 here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Dale Earnhardt Jr. running 8th in car number 3. One car way loose up to the top of the racetrack there at 4 as we watch Junior down the main straightaway.
That was the 71 car, I think, with Mario Gosselin. Got up a little high.
Gosselin, a young driver, definitely on the rise. He's run here in the Hooters Cup Series, very strong in that series, making his first foray into the Busch Grand National Wars tonight. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Mike McLaughlin, Matt Kenseth, 8th, 9th, and 10th right now here in Myrtle Beach. With Cross cross the 100-lap mark. Next caution will come at lap 160. Next scheduled caution anyway, when these drivers will complete the second period, if you will, and get another chance to gas up, take 4 tires, make some adjustments, and run the final 90 laps to the flag. So that'll be an interesting final segment, I think, to the race tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first stop here, I think the guys probably made a small adjustment to see exactly how much that would help them or hurt them. And then when they come up to the 160 lap mark where they got the final adjustment, they're going to have to be right.
Matt Kenseth in the 17 car almost won this race 1 year ago. He led a lot, had his tires go away late in the going. Elliott Sadler able to get by for the win. Right now, though, this one is in the hands of Randy LaJoie. We'll be right back.
Mack trucks are furnished by Clement Chevy Mack Sales. For all your truck and tractor needs, call Clement at 1-800-369-MACK. Visit, experience, shop Simpson World, a racer and race fan superstore, now open in Mooresville, North Carolina, Indianapolis, Indiana, Torrance, California, and opening soon in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Race fans, you make the call. New LCI long-distance customers receive 30 minutes of free calling and a calling card featuring participating drivers. Don't delay. Call now, 1-888-TEAM-LCI.
On board with Kerry Earnhardt at Myrtle Beach Speedway in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Rick Benjamin and Larry Pearson live tonight on CNN Motorsports. Mike Hogwood, Randy Pemberton on pit road for us. The Channel Lock Chevrolet. Kerry Earnhardt at the wheel tonight. Randy LaJoie is out in front of the Fina Chevrolet. We've had a change back behind him for second spot. Jason Keller has moved up and taken the position. And here's Lyndon Amick with Mike McLaughlin to the outside. Mark Green right in front of him. This is for 6th, 7th, and 8th spot. Lyndon Amick riding in 7th. A good run. His return to the Busch Grand National Wars. And he's got a lot of local sponsorship. The Myrtle Beach Chamber of Commerce on board on that car. Skana, the power company down here. And a well-known crew chief taking that team over. And they are doing a super job, aren't they, Mike Hogwood?
Yeah, Lyndon Amick has been down here testing. He has really pointed towards this race. They had heartbreak at the beginning of the season. They did not make the race at Daytona. But now with sponsorship from South Carolina, you can see South Carolina stenciled on the crew uniforms. Lyndon Amick says this is his home track. This is where his Busch season starts here tonight. From here on out, it's the rest of the full season that they'll run in that 35 car. Buddy Barnes says they've got a great race team. They are ready to go, and they think they've got a great shot to win here tonight.
Well, he's riding 6th right now. Lyndon Amick making plenty of horsepower and good progress down the backstretch. What do you think, Larry Pearson?
Yes, he really is. I'm proud of him. He's had some not so good runs this year, but like Mike said, this is his hometown track, and he's got South Carolina sponsoring him. Heck, I'm pulling for him. I'm from South Carolina.
If you're not familiar with the story, Lyndon Amick started the season with Gary Dehart as his crew chief and won the Winston Cup Championship just a couple of years ago for Terry Labonte. Gary didn't stay very long with that team, and now Buddy Red Dog Barnes is the crew chief, and he started the year in the Winston Cup Series with Team Sabco, a veteran Winston Cup crew chief. And if there's a guy that can get that team pointed in the right direction, Buddy Barnes is certainly the guy. So Lyndon Amick up to 6th and doing a great job here tonight. NASCAR timing and scoring at the top of your screen, presented by MCI tonight as you keep track of what's going on here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. 132 laps remaining, almost to halfway. Dale Earnhardt Jr. now working on the 37. That is a battle for 9th. The 3 and the 37 sliding back a little bit in the field here as the first half of the race comes to a close. There's Dale Jr. to the inside of Mark Green. That is for 9th spot. So give Dale Jr. 9th position. Green is a guy who doesn't get talked about a whole lot, but he has quietly become a real force in the NASCAR Busch Grand National Wars.
He really has. Mark is, he's got some good cars, and he's had some good runs also. He got Kenneth Campbell down there as a crew chief, Timberwolf as a sponsor, and you know, it takes money. I mean, you've got a lot of talented race drivers out there. They just don't have the money behind them to show what exactly they can do. And once Mark got with a good team, you know, and got some money behind him, he's showing his stuff.
The guy who's really shown plenty of stuff this year is Dale Earnhardt Jr. 3 victories so far this season, including last week in Milwaukee. 3rd in the points, but look at that. The gap has tightened up even more. Kenseth maintains the lead, but as they run right now, Dale Jr. just 27 points out of the series lead. He's coming up on the 78 car. Jim Bound at the wheel of that machine tonight. Bound back in 30th spot. Dale Jr. is 9th. Obviously, Bound is not on the lead lap. Dale Jr. wants to put him another lap in arrears.
Carl Wiggle just
right, obviously. If that car was where he wanted it to be, no doubt that Dale Jr. would be up contending for the lead. Randy Pemberton, what are they saying down there in the AC Delco pits?
Well, the bottom line, the car is loose. He's having difficulty just getting off the corner. But I did talk to him earlier today, and he was telling me that for some reason they don't seem to be able to get this car to work. It is a low-snout car. It's not the same car that he killed everybody with at Milwaukee last week. They've run it 3 different times. He did have a good finish at Hickory with it, but for some reason you could just sense it talking to him. He just doesn't quite have the feel or have this car figured out. So they've been struggling here the last since that pit stop.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. running 9th. They'll be wanting to make some changes, no doubt, when we get to the 160 lap mark, but we're halfway. The cross flags being shown off the flag stand here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Halfway, 125 to go here tonight. Randy LaJoie continues to be your leader in the 74, and we've had a change for second spot. Tim Fita was so strong early on, gave up the lead to his teammate at the lap 81 restart. LaJoie with a good advantage now, but let's page back a little bit and show you Jason Keller in the 57 machine has moved to second now. So Keller with a very good ride going on tonight. He goes by Shane Hall, the Big A Auto Parts Chevrolet. We jump inside of Hall's machine, take a look at Shane working the wheel as they unwind onto the backstretch. You talked about how strong Keller is. He looks like he's got a car that may be a force here before we're done tonight.
I'm telling you, Jason looks very, very well, and Randy's caught up in traffic right now, so that's going to give Jason a chance to close in even more. Should be interesting if he catches it.
The 57 moving up on Scott Legacy, who's driving tonight, the Kingsford Charcoal Chevrolet for Robert Presley. Keller is second. Fedua is back in third. David Green quietly has paddled his way up to fourth. Shane Hall with problems. He's on the pit road, grabbing third gear, and now you don't want to do this unless you have a problem and absolutely have to. As we've talked about tonight, 2 mandatory 5-lap yellows will give you all the opportunity you need to change tires and add fuel. If you have to stop at another point, you've got serious difficulty. It looks like they're going for tires.
Yeah, he must have a tire going down or something, because it's very unusual for Shane to come in the pits like this.
And we understood that if you had to change tires outside of the 5-lap caution period, unless they were damaged, you could be penalized a lap per tire. So undoubtedly, Hall knows he's got a tire, had a tire problem, and needed to stop. And I'm sure they'll be showing those tires to the NASCAR officials on pit road. There's your race leader, Randy LaJoie, and the Fita Chevrolet. LaJoie winless so far in 1998, amazingly. 5 victories last year on his way to his 2nd consecutive NASCAR Busch Series title. That car and team has won 3 championships in a row. Johnny Benson, the title holder in that car back in 1995. Randy thinks he can get back in the hunt here in the second half of the season. Got his work cut out for him. A win tonight would certainly start him on the road to getting into contention.
Well, that's what you need. You need some momentum. And, you know, a win here tonight, or even a good finish. I mean, he's had good finishes this year, but tonight he's running up front. He's running strong. Get a little momentum going, that will carry you the rest of the year. And I think he can do it. I mean, he's not out there. You know, of course, Kenseth has to have a little bad luck, McLaughlin, but I know Randy LaJoie, he's not a quitter. He won't quit.
He has got one of the greatest attitudes. He is like a bulldog in that race car, and he is showing them the way so far tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway. We're live on TNN Motorsports. Our coverage tonight of the NASCAR Busch Series Myrtle Beach 250 is being brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. Just as we were going to break, the driver running second, Jason Keller in his 57 car, the Chevrolet. Big troubles down the main straightaway. Randy Pemberton.
Well, it sounded sick when he came on pit road. He now sits here with the engine turned off. Believe it or not, they're saying that it is a oil cooler that has a crack in it. They're going to go ahead and try and bypass it. He has now fired the car up, spewing oil all over, because they do have it disconnected in there right now. But the bottom line is they're saying it's a cracked oil cooler. It does not sound flat like I originally thought. I thought he broke the motor, but they're going to go ahead and try and bypass it. Back upstairs. Wow, that thing let go, Larry Pearson. Look at the oil under the hood there. And he came down the main straightaway just as we were going to commercial, and a huge plume of smoke came out the back end of the 57.
Yeah, I thought it was over for him, to be honest with you. And he was running so well. I mean, that's typical of the way his luck has gone this year. But he had a good run going, and maybe he can build from this on to next week, and hopefully it'll carry over for him. But, you know, if they get it fixed, he's definitely out of contention as far as the win goes, but he can get back in there and get some points. I think he's up there in points.
He is in contention. He's had a good season, unsponsored. Let's take a look at the driver who was running third. Back to second now. Your pole sitter tonight, Tim Fedewa, the other Base Motorsports Chevrolet, the Kleenex 33. Fedewa, at the last restart after the lap 80 competition yellow, appeared to move over, give Randy LaJoie an opportunity to go by perhaps and lead a few laps, pick up the bonus points for that. Fedewa back to second now. We thought that he would get right back up there and race his teammate for the lead, and I don't know, maybe he's just biding his time.
Well, I think so. Hopefully he's saving his tires. I hate to think that with a car that good, it is developing a problem, which I don't think he is. He's probably just laying back a little bit, and I don't know if I'd let LaJoie get that far out.
You never know what can happen. He rubbed on one of the cars we watched as he was moving by some of the lap traffic earlier. Hey, we told you this was a huge motorsports month here on TNN. Biggest day tomorrow. NASCAR's Winston Cup Series live on TNN Motorsports, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. The Jiffy Lube 300 live from New Hampshire International Speedway. Our coverage starts at 12:30 Eastern with our preview show. Race coverage at 1 o'clock Eastern. Right after TNN Race Day tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. I'll be back in our Charlotte studios tomorrow for Race Day. Our coverage from New Hampshire at 12:30 and the race broadcast at 1 o'clock Eastern. Eli Gold and the boys will be on hand tomorrow from New Hampshire International Speedway. Join us for the Jiffy Lube 300 at 1 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow afternoon.
How about that Ricky Craven sitting on the pole like that?
Unbelievable. Like it a lot.
That was great. That was good for him.
He and Jeff Gordon, the 200 teammates, will lead him to green tomorrow at New Hampshire. Craven at his home racetrack, really.
Absolutely, and it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. I drove for him at Talladega. Again, I do appreciate that, but a super guy, and I was glad to see him come back, after the layoff and sit on the pole. Hopefully he'll have a good run tomorrow.
I bet you he will. We've talked to him several times along the way as he has sat out and recovered from the post-concussion syndrome that knocked him out of the race car after Darlington early this year, at Darlington, we should say, back in the spring. And he told me a couple of different times he wasn't sure if he'd be able to race again, and that's the funny thing about head injuries like that.
Well, I'm sure it was on his mind, but he was seeing some good doctors up there and doing some exercises and things like that. I don't know exactly what it consists of. Maybe I need to have my head checked. But he's come back, and he ran a Busch race at Watkins Glen, and he did very well there. Had no problems whatsoever, and he goes to Loudon and sits on the pole, so obviously he's back.
It is great to see, and we wish Ricky Craven well tomorrow. Hope he has a good run in the Jiffy Lube 300 at New Hampshire International tomorrow. Again, 1 o'clock Eastern for our live coverage here on TNN Motorsports. We'll be back with TNN Race Day at noon Eastern Time tomorrow. Pre-race coverage from Loudon starts at 12:30. We're still under caution. 141 laps complete, 109 to go next time around. Safety car is out at the head of the field with Randy LaJoie. Your restart leader, Fedewa, will go second. David Green will line up third on the restart. Won this race 2 years ago at Buzz McCall's Caterpillar Chevrolet. He's now in the Team 34 car, the Stanley Pontiac, and we've talked about David Green. We think that he is definitely a guy who will be someone to deal with before we put the checkered flag to this one tonight. Got a lot of racing coming up here in the next couple of weeks. We've talked about it a couple of times tonight on TNN Motorsports. Next Saturday night at 9 Eastern, if you're like me, you love winged outlaw sprint cars, and there's no finer place to take those cars onto the racetrack than at Eldora Speedway in Ohio. Next week, the Kings Royal. $50,000 to win. One of the great shows of the summer. The Kings Royal live at 9 o'clock Eastern next Saturday night on TNN Motorsports. Ralph Shaheen and the boys will have the call for us from Eldora. Still under caution. Looks like we'll be ready to go green here very shortly, though. Lights are still on the safety car. Larry Pearson coming up on about 100 to go. There's another competition caution about 25 laps away. If you're up in contention to the top 5, what are you thinking at this point?
Well, if I'm running 5th, I need to make a small adjustment to get up front there. If I'm Randy LaJoie, again, you don't want to see that. I mean, if you can stretch it away a little bit, if you start to pull away, you get to thinking, well, I got him beat. I don't want to see any cautions. I want it to continue. But, 160, they got to come in and make another pit stop, and Randy has to hope that no one behind him makes an adjustment and gets a little bit better than he does. But it should be exciting.
That last 90-lap segment, I think, will be really tough on these teams, because I would think you have to take care of your tires in your car for a good bit there.
That's what I'm thinking. But, I would have missed the setup tonight. I thought the track was going to get tighter, and obviously it's getting looser and looser. And so I would have been out to lunch on that. But it's one of those deals, I guess.
I'm going to show you the upcoming schedule for the NASCAR Busch Series. 12 races in the next many weeks as we work toward the fall. Fontana, California, July 19th. Then South Boston, you'll see that one here on TNN, July 25th, Saturday night. They go to Indianapolis, Brooklyn, Michigan for the Pepsi 200, back to Bristol, Tennessee. Darlington, South Carolina, Labor Day weekend, September the 5th on Saturday. And many of these are TNN broadcasts as we work toward the end of the 1998 campaign. Richmond, of course, in September. Then we'll be at Dover Saturday, September 19th for the MBNA Gold 200. The Concord, North Carolina, that's Charlotte Motor Speedway, the All-Pro 300. CarQuest Auto Parts 250, that's in Gateway. Rockingham, October 31st for the AC Delco 200. You'll see that one here on TNN Motorsports. And the season wraps up at Homestead November 15th with the Jiffy Lube 300. So a lot of racing yet to be spun off in the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. We're about to go green. 145 laps will be complete this time by. The safety car is in. Randy LaJoie will lead him to the stripe with 105 to go. There's Speedway right behind him with David Green knocking on the door. And look at that. The 00 Buckshot Jones gets up in there as well. So we've got a lot of action at the front of the pack.
Yeah, I think Buckshot got a lap down. He's up there trying to get his lap back, I believe.
Indeed he is. Shane Hall working his way down low. We jump on board with Phil Parsons in the Duraloop Chevrolet. Top three cars are LaJoie, Fedewa, and Green with Elliott Sadler in fourth. And look at Fedewa. Fill in the mirrors of the 74 car.
He's back. I think he's saying, Randy, you've led enough. Now it's my turn.
Buckshot Jones third in the running order there. He is 15th, one lap down. We have 14 cars on the lead lap at this point. And we're 13 laps away from our second yellow flag period of the night at lap 160. Second competition caution coming up.
If Buckshot's going to get his lap back, he needs to do it in a hurry because the longer they run, the further LaJoie and Fedewa will get out there. But he seems to be staying with them pretty good now.
Pulled away. Those three cars have started to pull away from David Green in the 36. Green may have turned in the ride of the night here. He started 16th, and he has come to third.
Being smooth and being patient, it'll pay off in the long run.
He has got a great touch at the wheel, no doubt about it. Matt Hunter drove that car for much of the early season. The change made a couple of weeks ago, right before Watkins Glen. David went up and ran for it. Let's go downstairs. Mike Hockwood.
Well, he's been just talking with Kevin Caldwell, his crew chief, about what to do on this pit stop coming up that you were talking about, Rick. And they've come up with a great plan. Absolutely nothing. David Green says he loves the way this car is running right now. He's flying. He told his guys don't touch it.
So David Green rides third in the Stanley Pontiac. He is about a second and a half behind the two leaders, the Base Motorsports twins of Randy LaJoie and Tim Fedewa. Back with more at Myrtle Beach in a moment.
The official trailer of NASCAR, IndyCar, World of Outlaws, IRL, and a major sponsor of NHRA. Remember to call Featherlight for all your trailer needs at 800-800-1230. Radio communications are provided by Racing Radios. For all your racing communications needs as well as scanners, call on Racing Radios at 1-800-669-1522. And by LA West Luxury Vans. LA West vans are available at select Ford dealerships nationwide. Call us at 800-786-VANS.
We are under caution at Myrtle Beach Speedway, just a couple of laps short of the lap 160 competition yellow. We'll show it to you in a moment. A big pileup on the main straightaway. Everybody is away, Larry Pearson, amazingly. That's Casey Atwood, the young 17-year-old. We'll show it to you coming out of turn 4. What happened here?
Well, it looks like Elton Sawyer got into Jason Jarrett a little bit and up next to the wall there, and Jason had to get out of it, and the cars behind him just piled in.
Kevin Grubb there in the 52. That's Scott Legacy in the 59. We'll take a look from Phil Parsons onboard camera here coming off 4. There's the skirmish.
Yeah. It's a good thing they didn't come back up the racetrack.
Really?
With a big mess there.
Casey Atwood suffered the most severe damage to the Bruco Motorsports Chevrolet, the 27 car. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, he finished second at Nashville back in March on TNN Motorsports. He's just signed with the Bruco team. He'll run select races the rest of the year in a second car, teaming with Mark Green. They'll run the full season in 1999. Fourth caution of the night on lap 159. 1 lap away from the competition yellow, and we'll have to see whether that period might be extended a little bit as we ride behind the safety car. Half a dozen cars got caught up in that on the main straightaway, got into the wall, and amazingly, everybody seems to be okay except for Atwood, and there is moisture down on the track here on the main stretch.
Yeah, everybody seemed to have pulled away from it. things happen so quick in a race car. I mean, the people at home, they don't realize how quick things do happen. I mean, that case right there, Elton Sawyer got into Jason Jarrett a little bit, moved Jason up the racetrack. Jason had to get out of the gas just a little bit to keep from hitting the wall. And the people behind him just closed in so quick. So the first one, which I think was Grubb, had to get out of the gas, and the other cars just piled into him. I mean, it happens in a split second, and it's very, very hard to miss something like that.
And you can't think your way through that as a driver. It's got to be instinct.
Absolutely. It's got to be instinct, experience. You know, that thing right there, they had to guess. They were hoping that the cars wouldn't slide back up the racetrack. Sometimes it's luck, but most of the time it's just instinct.
We're lapping this racetrack at about 93 miles an hour in race conditions. On the main straightaway, what are you running here, 110, 120 miles an hour probably?
Oh, you're running faster than that, I think. Probably, yeah, 120, 130, something like that.
It happens quickly at that speed, no doubt about it. Here's Randy LaJoie leading the field onto pit road. We've reached the 160 lap mark, so we will go with a 5-lap competition caution now at lap 160. Remember, if you were with us earlier, scoring stops. Everyone holds their position. You have 5 laps to make changes. Randy Pemberton.
Well, the leader is in. It should be a nice leisurely pit stop for Randy LaJoie. As you would imagine, they're not going to make many chassis adjustments here. Since this is a run to the finish now with 90 to go, they're going to go ahead and raise the track bar. That's the adjustment they're making. They're coming up on the track bar on the right side. Go ahead and change 4 tires. As far as his teammate, Tim Fedewa, not a whole lot they're going to do as well. They like their chassis setup. He was just riding along back there prior to Jason Keller blowing up when he was running 3rd. Moved up to 2nd, just cruising a little bit loose. They're going to go ahead and work on that radio problem. There you see the guy in the car working on the 33 radio problem. Now to Mike Hogwood.
Elliott Sadler down on pit road, he had a frustrating segment. Said he used up his tires racing a lapped car. He's still tight in the middle and loose off in the turn, so they have made some major chassis adjustments once again. Elliott Sadler just not right and not happy at all with the way his car's handling. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt Jr., we talked earlier about how loose he was. Well, they over-adjusted a little bit, and as the racetrack has changed, Dale Earnhardt says the car is now a little bit too tight. So they're going to try to loosen him up a bit in the turns. Mike McLaughlin in Team 34 in the 34 car. Well, they are making one minor adjustment to loosen that car up just a little bit. He too reporting that he's a little bit tight in the turns.
Mike McLaughlin takes the Gould's Pump Chevrolet back up onto the racetrack. He'll restart in 5th spot. Hasn't really been up toward the front much yet tonight, but that could change here in the final 90 laps at Myrtle Beach Speedway on TNN Motorsports. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach Speedway, the NASCAR Busch Series. A reminder, everyone loves TNN Motorsports video game, Hardcore 4x4 for Sony PlayStation and Sega Saturn. If you're a racer and you like games, check it out. You'll see fenders crunching, wheels busting, doors flying off. This one's so real, you'll scrape the mud off your television set. More information about our TNN Motorsports Hardcore 4x4 game available at our website, www.country.com. That's where my weekly race day commentary is available, too, every Tuesday. Hope you can join us on our webpage and page over to TNN Motorsports. Race day on the air tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. 30 minutes of coverage right before our live broadcast from New Hampshire International Speedway, the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, the Jiffy Lube 300. Pre-race coverage at 12:30. The race itself at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And I'll be back in our Charlotte studios for race day tomorrow at noon Eastern Time. On board with Phil Parsons. He has had a difficult night so far in the Duralube Chevrolet. Parsons, great driver, strong competitor in the NASCAR Busch Series. His cell phone team, and they're back in 24th spot. They're a couple of laps down at this point, so it's been not the kind of night Phil Parsons wanted to have.
No, it hasn't. But again, it's a hit or miss deal. You practice in the daytime, you qualify in the daytime, you try to set your car up, you try to guess what your car is going to do at nighttime. And Phil just hadn't hit it tonight, but he'll be back. He's had some good runs.
1 to go. They'll get the green next time. Buy sticker tires on most of the field here. Ready to go racing for the final 90 laps. And as we've talked about, Larry Pearson, you've really got to, I think, manage your race car and your tires here in the early stages of this final run.
I think so. Like we said at the beginning, they repaved the track. Now the track's getting wore out again, and it's going to wear the tires. We're going back to green.
Green and going. Fedewa from 2nd. LaJoie, your restart leader. He is up high, and Fedewa tries him down low and can't do it. 3rd spot belongs to David Green. Buckshot Jones in the 00 is 4th in the running order, but not 4th on the Speedway. Or he's 4th on the Speedway, we should say, but not 4th in the running order. He's 4th as you see them there, but he is 1 lap down, back in 15th position.
Feedwell didn't seem to have the problem that time as far as the restart.
No.
He jumped down and looked like he wanted to try to get the lead there.
Lyndon Amick in the 35 is fourth. Mike McLaughlin is fifth in the 34. There's Feedwell running second. Your race leader is Randy LaJoie. We've had 3 different leaders tonight. Curtis Markham led in the early going. Only 2 lead changes. We've had 4 caution periods for 16 laps. Only 1 car behind the wall. I think you can make that 2 now because Jason Keller has not reappeared either. He and Tony Stewart both behind the wall at this point. The 2 Base Motorsports Chevrolets showing the way. They have been stout here from the get-go tonight. Vito had dominated the first section. LaJoie led the entire second period. And now it's the third period of the race. And Vito wants the point back.
I don't think Randy's going to give it back to us that easily, even though they are teammates. When they get on that racetrack, they are both hard-headed, and both of them want to win very badly. But I still think that David Green will have something to say about that. He's not up there with them, but I don't think he's pushing his car as hard as he'll go.
Green is third. Remember, he won here 2 years ago. He has just joined the Stanley Tools team. There are the 2 lead cars. Vito had given LaJoie all he wants at the moment out of turn 4. Jason Keller back on the Speedway. They fixed whatever oil cooler problem they were having, or at least they think they have. A lot of smoke still pouring out of the back of the 57. Keller trying to get on the racetrack, gather some valuable points. He was second when that problem occurred.
Yeah, the reason the smoke there, they just didn't clean all the oil up, and it's falling on the headers and things like that. It'll take it a few laps for that to burn off, but that there looks pretty bad.
A lot of smoke down the main straightaway, though, for the Jason Keller machine. The officials taking a look at the car, trying to decide whether a black flag will wave or not over the 57. Keeping track of the running order at home. There it is for you at the top of the screen. Jason's got a couple of 5th place finishes to his credit this season. He's going to duck back onto the pit road heading into turn 3. So Keller's experiment with trying to bring the 57 back onto the racetrack apparently will not last very long. 2 leaders are LaJoie and Feedwell. Let's get more from pit road. Randy Pemberton.
Well, on the Jason Keller story, they were behind the wall for quite some time. Jason got out of the car, back in the car. Crew worked on the car. They believe they're going to give up the ghost this time. I think he's going to take the hard left. I believe Jason may very well be done for the night, and as you see it, he is turning behind the wall.
Tough break indeed, because they certainly ran well the first half of the race here tonight, up in second, and then the oil line or the oil cooler let go. Feedwell gets sideways out of 4 there.
I think he's trying. He's trying too hard to catch Randy and to stay up with him, and he's just going to burn that right rear up, and it's going to get worse and worse if he keeps doing that.
Randy Pemberton, what's the story down there for Feedwell?
Well, they debated whether or not to make any adjustments to the 33 cars. They said before they were just riding, but they went ahead and did basically the same thing the 74 car of LaJoie did. They raised the track bar a couple rounds, I believe a round and a half it might have been. They went ahead and went down on the wedge on the left side. So they went ahead and loosened that car up, and as you can see, it might be a little too loose. If it's this loose early on in the run, he may have problems holding on to not only second place, but maybe even further on back through the field. But he's struggling right now.
David Green is closing in. Green looks like he wants second spot here. He can't keep that 33 car down low on the racetrack. We'll find out more about the Tim Feedwell situation. Randy LaJoie is your leader. About 79 laps to go. Pleased to be bringing you this one tonight under Musco Lighting. Musco, world-class leaders in sports and large area lighting. More information is available from Musco Lighting, 1-800-825-6020 from the great state of Iowa. Our friends at Musco Lighting providing our illumination here tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway. And Randy LaJoie is lighting up tonight in the Fina Chevrolet. He's been out in front since lap number 80. We're at lap 179. He's led nearly 100 consecutive laps. Let's page back and show you that David Green has moved to second spot in the Stanley Pontiac now, and he has pulled away from Tim Feedwell. Larry Pearson, it looks like Feedwell's night not in very good shape at this point. We'll talk about that in a moment. Let's go to pit road. Mike Hogwood.
David Green is telling his crew that the longer this race stays under the green, the better that car is feeling underneath him. He feels great right now, and he says what we can hope for maybe is a lot of green for Green the rest of this night.
And that might pay off with a lot of green at the pay window where this one's all over. David Green and Randy LaJoie are old rivals.
Exactly. Let's hear it for the old folks.
Well, not old on the calendar, but they've duked it out on these racetracks a lot.
Yes, they have. They're very experienced, and like we've said before, it takes experience and patience patience at these type of racetracks, and both of those guys have that, and it's paying off for them.
1996 when David Green won here at Myrtle Beach Speedway on TNN Motorsports in the 96 car. He and LaJoie were locked in a very, very tight battle for the Busch Series championship that finally went to LaJoie when David Green got into a wreck at Charlotte Motor Speedway in October. They were within a handful of points of each other most of the season. And to see David Green back in the Stanley Pontiac, you know he wants to race in the Wisdom Cup Series, and he'll no doubt have success there in the years to come. But it's nice to see those two drivers in a position to battle it out once again.
Absolutely. David did. You know, he was in Winston Cup. I think he's happy to be back in Busch. Just to be honest with you, it don't matter where you're running, as long as you're competitive and you're winning, then you're a happy person. And Busch is not a bad place to make a living.
Not at all. Gives him a chance to regroup and get back in there. Lyndon Amick and Mike McLaughlin battling. This is for 4th spot. Look at Magic Shoes to the high side in the Gould Chevrolet. Amick able to get off the corner and cover the spot there.
Yeah, I think the high groove there, we've seen a couple of passes there. The cars are washing up the racetrack, and they're getting higher and higher. Keep their RPMs up. So.
Moment before that, we showed you Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 3 car. He's running 7th, right behind Matt Kenseth in the 17, who is 6th. Here's how the point battle stacks up as the cars run on the speedway. Matt Kenseth remains the leader now. He is 6th on the racetrack, but his lead is only 10 over McLaughlin in the 34 and only 17 over Earnhardt Jr. in the 3. As we run back now and show you Matt Kenseth, he's got Dale Jr. right behind him. Look at Jr. trying to root him out of the way, and I think he's going to do it.
I think Jr. gave him a little bump, get in the corner there, trying to push him up the racetrack so he could get under him.
This is for 6th spot now. Kenseth is 6th in the 17. Earnhardt Jr. is 7th. Joe Vesey in the Power Team car right in there at 8th spot. That's car number 6.
Joe's had some good runs this year. Those two guys up there battling, keeping their mind on each other and forgetting about Joe. Joe will sneak up on him in just a minute. Steve Kenseth's got a little loose that time coming off the corner that time. I don't know if Earnhardt Jr. got into it or not, but you can tell they're really battling it out.
Up in front, it's still LaJoie and Green. This is the battle for the 6th position. Looks like Kenseth is working that wheel like he may have a little loose condition that he's fighting against there.
Yeah, it does, coming off the corners there. Well, it's crunch time, you know. I mean, you don't want to overdrive the car. Here you can see Kenseth's coming off the corner there and slaps the wall just a little bit maybe.
That was coming out of turn 4 down the main straightaway. We talked about how this main straightaway isn't straight. It's really a D-shaped dogleg.
Absolutely. It's a D-shaped, and you think you've got more room coming off the 4 than what you really have. And it'll throw you in. The wall just step right out and smack you.
Up top of the screen, your running order. Randy LaJoie, the leader. Let's watch this battle again. This is for 6th position. Kenseth in the 17, 2 victories this year. He's the point leader. Dale Earnhardt Jr. with 3 wins is 3rd in points. So there's a lot at stake here, not just 6th position on the racetrack.
Absolutely. Every position is, I think, is 5 points up back until 6th place, and he really don't want to give it up unless he has to.
These two guys, these 2 young Chargers, this is really, I think, not just the future of NASCAR Busch Grand National Racing this season, but the future of Winston Cup, if not in 1999, certainly by the year 2000. These 2 have had maybe Tony Stewart into the mix and 1 or 2 others, and this is what we'll be looking at on Sunday in the years to come.
Absolutely. These 2 guys, plus Tony Stewart, and a couple of more guys out here. They have great futures ahead of them.
Into the Lyco Chevrolet. That's the Robbie Reiser machine. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his dad's AC Delco Chevrolet.
What you want to do in this situation is just not get too excited. If you're Kansas, you don't want to look in the mirror a lot because Earnhardt will drive you crazy again back there.
He's got running room on the inside. Dale Jr. down low. He's got Kenseth where he wants him up in the middle of the corner. But look at that, the 17 strong out of that turn.
Absolutely. He stayed up on the high groove there. Keep his RPMs up. He comes off the corner a lot better.
Now remember that Kenseth almost won this race 1 year ago. He knows how to get around Myrtle Beach Speedway.
Well, he's showing it right now. Obviously, he does. Earnhardt Jr., I mean, he ran here last year, I think, in the late model stock car, so he should know how to get around it. He'll just take his time there, take a deep breath and relax. Everything's going to be okay for both of them, I believe. As long as they don't get too eager and get into each other.
Still battling for 6th position. Kenseth up from 17th at the drop of the green. starting in third here tonight in the 3.
He's still trying in on the inside there. Maybe if he could just follow him into the corner and stay up high and try to turn the car and come under him coming off. What you want to do is make the straightaway as long as you can, and you do that by staying up in the high groove and coming off low, turning in the center of the corner. He's trying again on the inside there.
He's gaining inch by inch.
I know what he wants to do. He wants to run in there and slide up there and hit him like his dad does. That's what he wants to do.
I think he's got Kenseth out of the way this time. I think the Lyco Chevrolet ran out of grip on that middle part of the corner. Well, then maybe not. Here comes Kenseth.
Back. I'm telling you, it's 2 good race drivers. And neither one of them wants to give an inch.
2 of the young guns, 2 of the sport's rising lights. Yeah, a little contact there between 1 and 2.
I know they got the crowd on their feet. I'm about to stand up myself here.
That allows Kenseth now to scoot away and maintain command of 6th. So Kenseth holds on to 6th after the contact with Earnhardt. He is your series point leader, and he is running 6th on the racetrack. Everybody's chasing Randy LaJoie and David Green at Myrtle Beach. Our coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series Myrtle Beach 250 tonight being brought to you by the more than 2,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach Speedway, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The Myrtle Beach 250, the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series on TNN Motorsports. I'm Rick Benjamin, along with Larry Pearson topside tonight. Randy Pemberton and Mike Hogwood on pit road. We saw the 2 lead cars. Kerry Earnhardt still on the racetrack in the Channel Lock Chevrolet tonight. This first Busch Series starting car number 40. We jump on board down the back straightaway here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. We saw Randy LaJoie, your race leader. David Green is second in the Stanley Pontiac. 208 laps are on the board, so 42 remain here tonight. We've got a good story building a little further back in the pack as we watch Kerry Earnhardt in that channel lock machine. The 40 car, nice job tonight. He's up to 21st. He struggled, but he's hung on.
Well, he did exactly what he needs to do. He needs to stay out there, and he needs to get laps. Never running Busch before. I mean, he just needs to stay out there and get some experience, stay out of the trouble, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do.
There's Matt Kenseth in the 17. Dale Earnhardt Jr. coming back at him now as they battle for position. But if we can go back ahead a little bit, we'll show you the 4 of Jeff Purvis, who is really on the charge. The 3 car of Earnhardt Jr. is back in 8th. Kenseth is 7th. They've both been passed by Jeff Purvis. In the 4, Purvis now is up to 6th. We got a glimpse of his machine a moment ago. Dale Earnhardt Jr. running by himself. Let's go to pit road. Randy Pemberton.
Came over to the 3 pit to talk to Tony Eury and the guys just to find out exactly what the problem was with the 3 car. We know he was in a heavy battle with the 17. The bottom line is, for these guys, even though they're running very well still tonight, they just flat have missed the setup. They're just not quite happy with it, so it's up to Dale Earnhardt Jr. to bring this thing home with the best position that he can, but they just flat missed it.
Hey, we've got a battle for the lead. Look at David Green inside Randy LaJoie. Matt Kenseth slapped the wall. He's slipping back right now, though. This is David Green on the low side. He wants the point with 38 laps remaining. There's lap traffic ahead. We'll see who gets picked off. LaJoie on the high side. They're down into 1. Mario Gosselin in the 71. David Green is going to grab the lead here down the backstretch as he wiggles that car.
Yeah, he had to move up in front of Randy there, and he hadn't quite cleared him. See there, Randy taps him back there to let him know that he did move up on him. Randy was trying to trap him behind the lap car there, and David wasn't going to have any part of it.
So David Green has ridden the Stanley Pontiac to the lead here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Green in only his 3rd ride in that machine this season. He is your leader tonight at Myrtle Beach, coming up on 35 laps to go. LaJoie had led from lap 80, and he gives up the point. And just as you said, Larry Pearson, David Green has saved that race car, and it looks like he's got the advantage.
It seems that way so far. I mean, if you're Randy LaJoie, you've led all this way, and you really don't want to give up the lead. I mean, nobody wants to give up the lead, but if you've been out front for 80, 90, 100 laps, and somebody all of a sudden closes up on you, you're thinking, oh, God, I don't want to give up this lead this easy like this. So, it's not going to be easy. I think David will probably be able to pull away now. I don't know how hard Randy was running his car, but I do know that David was probably saving his. So, I think Randy might come back and make one more little charge if he cools his tires down.
There is lap lap traffic ahead once again. We're coming up on 30 to go. But remember, LaJoie is a master at saving his car, cooling his tires, and making a late charge. We'll see if he can do it tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Winnebago Industries is the official motorhome of TNN. Stop by your local Winnebago or Itasca dealer now. See the new models available. More information on the Winnebago Motorsports team. Call 1-800-643-4892. And it is extension 2, as always. A guy who didn't need any extension on the gas pedal tonight was David Green in the Stanley Pontiac. He has come from 16th at the drop of the green to grab the lead with less than 50 to go. He took it away from Randy LaJoie. And Green has LaJoie filling his mirrors. Let's go to pit road. Mike Hogwood.
Well, it's crew chief Kevin Caldwell nervously writing down lap times here. Kevin, what is David saying here as these laps wind down? What's he saying about the car?
He said the car is pretty good right now. We started out a little bit loose early on. We made a couple of adjustments here, but the car's pretty good right now.
What about the chemistry since he's come on board? A couple of top fives, and here you're challenging for a win.
I feel like the chemistry between David and myself is real well between the team. You know, they've adapted to him real quick. You know, just expect a lot of good things to come.
All right, this is a really tense pit right now. These guys realize that victory is almost at hand for them, and they've got an experienced driver behind the wheel in David Green, as you heard. Chemistry is great tonight.
22 laps remaining at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Green the leader in that Pontiac. As we take a look back at some of the names that have been to victory lane here. There's David Green in 96. Our partner tonight, Larry Pearson, the winner here in 1995. Elton Sawyer victorious here back in 1994. David Green would like nothing more than to bounce back from his disappointment and losing his Winston Cup ride and score a big victory here tonight. A big come from behind win as well in that Stanley Tools machine for Team 34. David Green, a very smooth race driver, Larry, as we've talked about tonight. He's conserved the car, and the race has really come to him here.
Absolutely. That's what it takes.
Trouble for Jeff Purvis. Yeah, he was running 5th. We were talking about how strong he'd become. He loses it up in the marbles. Looks like he white-walled the tire there and may have knocked the car out of square.
Yeah, it looks like the rear end's been pushed over on the car. So it's only a matter of time now.
We'll show you what happened. Tough break. Purvis was on the charge. He'd gotten up to 4th. This is working turn 3 and 4 a moment ago. Look at it push right up the track.
Yeah, he just got in the corner too high there. He's hit the wall again, I think.
Tough break indeed for Jeff Purvis in car number 4. So his run for a top 5 finish tonight appears to be done. Plenty of smoke out of the Lance Snacks machine. The James Finch car. Purvis still on the gas, but that car cannot be running nearly as well as it was before he took that unscheduled trip up into the loose stuff.
Yeah, he needs to come in and get that fixed. Otherwise, he's going to have more problems than what he's got right now.
The leaders have completed 232 laps, 18 to go. This is Matt Kenseth in the 17. He's running 8th. Purvis gets shuffled back to 9th. The 29 of Herbie Sadler. He's being shown in 12th, but this is a battle for position, we believe, because these cars are both on the lead lap.
Purvis is into the wall again.
Uh-oh, trouble again for the 4. Jeff Purvis out of the gas now, and he's cut a tire. Looks like the right rear is down on that car. He'll slow way down as they reach turn 1.
Yeah, they black flagged that lap there, so he's going to have to come in.
Something came off the car, too. It looked like a little sheet metal flew off the right rear corner of the car. You could just see it in the corner of the screen as he came down off the corner that time. So a tough break for Jeff Purvis, who started up front here tonight. He was running up in the top 5. He will not finish tonight's event. Back with more in a moment. Back at Myrtle Beach Speedway on TNN Motorsports, the NASCAR Busch Series. And a reminder, check out NASCAR online before, during, and after the race. www.nascar.com is the page, your 24-hour NASCAR Garage Pass. Caution on the speedway for trouble for Jeff Purvis's machine. Randy Pemberton, when they put this one under green, there'll be about 10 to go. What's going on down there?
Well, just taking a look at the 4 car, he absolutely knocked the rear end housing over. Having a decent run this evening after a fantastic run last weekend in Milwaukee, but not going to have a good finish tonight. Let's go to Mike Hogwood.
When they threw that caution flag, things flew here in the David Green pits. They were upset about that because he had it covered here. And as we have said, he is great on long runs. How he is on a restart, well, let's just say they're a little bit concerned here in the 36 team's pits.
There will be about 10 laps remaining when we get ready to go green here in just a moment. We saw a little bit of debris fly off the 4 car after Purvis hit the wall the second time up in turn 1 and 2. So that was the reason for the caution, I'm certain. Randy Pemberton, what else can you tell us?
Well, we're down here in the 74 pit. Steve Bird and the guys talking to Randy LaJoie. I think the bottom line is if David Green can get a good start and get away from him, he might be okay. Randy LaJoie complaining the car is simply too tight in the center of the corners. Cannot get the thing turned to come off the corner. So unless David Green doesn't get a solid restart, it's his tonight.
What a story that would be if David Green could complete the comeback and score the victory here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. There's LaJoie, the 2-time Busch Series champion. Talked about how he and David Green battled for the title just 2 seasons ago before David moved to Winston Cup. Well, here they are going at it again. Back for the finish at Myrtle Beach in a moment. 8 laps to go at Myrtle Beach Speedway. David Green, Randy LaJoie, Mike McLaughlin, Lyndon Amick, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Your top 5. Green the lead. 7 to go into turn 1. Look at LaJoie dogging into the corner.
Yeah, LaJoie's tires cooled off. This caution definitely helped him, and it'll help him for about a couple of laps until his car gets the tires get hot. This car gets to pushing again.
LaJoie right behind David Green. This is for the lead. 6 to go this time by. LaJoie to the inside. He's got a shot. He motors by. Randy LaJoie trying to retake the point. Green trying to stay with it. 5 laps to go this time by. There'll be 5 to go. Purvis back on the racetrack laying down some smoke right in front of the leaders.
He's got a right rear flat again.
And LaJoie opens up a car length on David Green. Unbelievable, Larry Pearson.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it is. LaJoie's car, I think it was tight. And David Green needs the long greens for his car to come in. And LaJoie can hold him off, but I think David Green might come back for one more shot.
Out of turn 2. Randy Pemberton, what are they saying downstairs?
Well, David Green just came over the radio, said he drove it into turn 1 and he got into some oil. He says there's oil out there. He slipped up the racetrack is what he was saying. Maybe not. Maybe Randy LaJoie missed it, but David Green's going to try and make one last run at him.
Less than 3 remaining at Myrtle Beach Speedway. 2 drivers who have not won in a long time. Randy LaJoie has not won since late last season. The 2-time Busch Series champion has dominated the show here tonight. David Green came from 16th to grab the lead right before that caution flag. And LaJoie on the restart has gotten by David. 2 to go. The white flag will wave next time by. Larry Pearson, if you're leading this one, what do you want to do?
Well, you want to protect the inside is what I would do. David seems to be beating Randy getting into the corners, but Randy's beating him coming off. That lets me know that Randy's backing off and getting on the gas a little bit quicker and beating David off the corners. And that's exactly how you got to pass somebody here anyway, so David needs to change his style of driving.
1 lap to go, less than a lap. They move by the Casey Atwood machine down the back straightaway. Final time, will Randy LaJoie end a season-long losing streak? Will David Green win for the first time in a long time? Out of 4 to the stripe, LaJoie will win by half a car length.
That was a great race. Great race.
2 drivers who needed victory, who hungered for victory, battle it out to the stripe, and Randy LaJoie gets the measure of David Green at Myrtle Beach Speedway tonight. Randy Pemberton.
Steve Bird standing down here. Birdie, it's been 26 races. Congratulations for you guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, this I can't say enough about base motorsports teams. These guys never gave up. You know, we knew we could get out of this slump. We just had to work at it, and everybody here worked hard, and we did. And Randy did a great job, and the guys, the 33 guys, all of them did good. And I know they're at Henry J's drinking some B-52s now, and we'll see you all later, guys.
Did Randy say anything over the radio?
He said he had a couple laps to try to get him. That was it.
A very happy Steve Bird. Randy LaJoie cuts the 360 on the main straightaway. You know that has got to take a huge load off of his shoulders. The 2-time Busch Series champion, frustrated at being unable to find victory lane so far in 1998, but he's there now. Mike Hogwood.
Well, letting him get some of his belts undone here. As you see, there's a big smile on his face. Already champagne is flowing here in victory lane. Let Randy get unplugged just a moment, getting some congratulations from his crew. As Randy Pemberton said a moment ago, it has been a while since these guys have been here to victory lane. The defending Busch Series champion. And oh, this has to be some kind of relief. Randy, we'll let you climb on out of here. Here he comes, Randy LaJoie, winner here in Myrtle Beach tonight. Hey, Randy, it has been a while, hasn't it? Too long, I'm sure you'd say.
Way too long. Thank FINA. Let's see, who do we got to thank besides Chevrolet, FINA, Piggly Wiggly, Bob Evans Restaurants, Tempest Resorts. I mean, these guys, we've had a rough year, but we're not dead yet. You know, these guys in the points did finish right behind us. We just got to win some more races, and we started right here, man.
Well, David Green had checked out just a little bit. Then the caution came. I knew you weren't handling that well, and you wanted to see that yellow there at the end.
Yeah, I did. David run good. I tell you, it was like old times. 96, I run David real hard for the championship, and last year, Todd Bodine in that 36 car. Those guys got together, and they've been good. You know, David told me he went to that driving school the last couple of weeks, so he'd learn how to drive again. So he was tough. But maybe Base Motorsports, we're back to tough. Timmy had a good run, and man, we needed this.
Talk about those last 10 laps. You're under caution. Did you feel you had some muscle left to get back around?
Well, I got to thank my trainer, Mark. I mean, I got plenty of muscle left. I'm ready to go, but I don't know how good David was. And I tightened down my Simpson belts and grabbed 2 hands with steering wheel. And so we got anything. We need to win us a race, and we went out and won us a race.
When you did get by him, did you feel you had what it would take to hold him off? Because you knew he was going to make another charge there.
When I seen him, I could pull away from him a little bit coming off the corner. I said, all I got to do is stay straight, and I'll be okay.
Well, there had been all kinds of rumors start flying about this team and about you, about everything. What does a win like this do? It seems to cement you and bring you all back together.
Well, it's awesome. My parents' anniversary, 7-11. That was my dad's old number, 7-11. Good number. I asked somebody what time it was. They told me it was 7-11. So it's in the numbers. Well, I'm not sure. They probably wrote us off there beginning of the year, but we're still digging. And, hey, we need some more wins. And we got one down, and we got some more to go.
That's Randy LaJoie, and he's pretty happy here in the winner's circle. Now to Randy Pemberton.
Well, David Green out of his car back here. A lot of people have written you off. 3 top 5 finishes. You were ever so close tonight to grabbing another victory.
Randy, is a lot of fun. Team 34 and that Pontiac was awful good, and Stanley. Those Ron Hutter engines was good, and I just got a little too tight there on the short run. I knew Randy was better. And, man, when that caution come out, it was trying to hold him off or not. But good race. What a great homecoming for David Green, and I can't wait to go to the next one. But the guys did a great job. We were out to lunch. Based on when we started, it's been 2 years since I've been here, and I got a little rusty, I guess. But car worked good all day long, no adjustments whatsoever. So what a great setup the guys gave me, and we worked together good. But great race. It's good to be disappointed with second, though. I love it.
A little contact there late in the race. You know, you put that one in the back of your mind?
Well, no, it's good hard racing, and if I could have got to him, I'd have rubbed him a little bit too. But hey, it's a great deal for Team 34 and Stanley in this Pontiac. So this is our goal, to get it back on track, and hopefully we'll get back in victory lane.
David, congratulations on your recent success.
Thanks, Randy.
So David Green settles for second tonight, but you know there'll be a lot more heard from he and from the Stanley Pontiac group before the 1998 Busch Series season is over. Well, the action complete at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Randy LaJoie in victory lane. What a celebration going on there. Randy happy enough to take a page from Alex Zanardi's book here at the start-finish line. Our coverage tonight of the NASCAR Busch Series Myrtle Beach 250 has been brought to you by Texaco, a world of energy. A reminder to race in at the all-new and official store of NASCAR, NASCAR Thunder. Now open in cities everywhere. Locations and information are available to you at area code 615-883-7000 weekdays, Monday through Friday. Well, the fans certainly got their money's worth here tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway. A great battle to the checkered flag between David Green and Randy LaJoie. Let's find out more of the post-race information. Here's Randy Pemberton.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr., we've caught up with him. You had to drive your butt off tonight to get that fit.
Yeah, we didn't have quite as good a car as we did here 2 years ago when we first run. We struggled in practice and in qualifying, and just couldn't get the car hooked up. I think something's tore up in the rear, maybe the drive plate or something, and just spun the tires up off the corner after about 10 laps on the new tires. So we just kind of wrestled with it all night. I didn't know where we was going to end up. Looked like we may not even get a top 10 out of it, but we kept on wrestling with it. Some guys had some trouble. Matt slipped up there one time, and we gained some points on him.
People assume that because you've lit the series up so much in recent weeks that maybe you're already there, but you learn something every time you go to a racetrack, don't you?
Yeah, you never, you're only as good as your car handles. We got great equipment, and I'm not taking away from that and the job that my guys do, but you know, you ever gonna get outrun every once in a while, and we got outrun tonight, and but we got to finish in the top 5 to win his points every week, and that's what we're doing. That's
exactly what he did tonight to Mike Coughlin.
Well, you see Mike McLaughlin, he is cooling off just a little bit. Strong third-place run. Have to feel good about that finish.
We do. We worked hard. They did a good job in the pits today. Spring rubbers were flying. The wedge was. They made a bunch of changes. Car come around. My hat's off to the Gould Pump team.
Even though it was a little cooler for a July race at Myrtle Beach, it had to be hot inside that race car tonight.
Humidity's brutal. It was warm, and this race is always tough. Believe me, it might have been cool tonight, but it was tough inside.
Well, some good news tonight is that you've taken over the Busch Series points lead. You got to have a big smile about that.
I'm real happy. Everybody works hard on this team. We've got great support, Gould's Pumps, ITT, you know, Watson Diller, GMC. I tell you, all these people make it happen. Ron Hutter, big power. Long season, a lot of good race teams to race. See how it plays out.
All right, that's Mike McLaughlin finishing third today, Rick.
Nice run for the Team 34 group. They have a car in second. They have a car in third. Strong night, certainly, for that team. We'll show you the unofficial rundown. Randy LaJoie, your winner. David Green, McLaughlin, Lyndon Amick with a good run. And, Larry, you talked up Lyndon quite a bit tonight. That's a good fourth-place momentum builder for that team.
Absolutely. I'm so proud of the guy. He needed this run. The whole team needed it as a momentum booster. And I look for good things from Amick. I think he'll be okay from here on out.
That's a well-funded team, and now with Buddy Barnes at the controls on pit road and at the garage for him, they certainly do have a lot to look forward to. Elton Sawyer comes home 11th tonight. Hermie Sadler with a nice 12th. Andy Santerre, the rookie contender. Curtis Markham, who started up front tonight and led early, but faded back to 14th. Buckshot Jones just could never get himself on track. They worked on that car all night and never could get back on the lead lap.
No, they couldn't. I thought Buckshot would have ran better, but you know, it's a hit or miss deal,
yeah.
You know, and one of those deals, and you know, they'll come back strong. I mean, they've got good stuff, and I expect good things out of them.
Call 2 to Mario Gosselin, his rookie start. The Hooters Pro Cup standout comes home 16th tonight. Phil Parsons with a struggle to 21st over Jason Jarrett. Kerry Earnhardt with his first run in the 40 car. Nice 23rd. Not bad at all for his first voyage.
Not bad at all. He did exactly what he needed to do. He stayed out of trouble and got some laps in, and he'll be better when he comes back next time.
And there you go, down to the 35th and final spot. Tony Stewart had problems tonight at the Shell. Pontiac cracked the wall with a tire down, and his night was very short. But many of the drivers had good runs tonight. Very competitive race all throughout the field, as always. Let's find out more of the post-race story from pit road. Randy Pemberton.
Tim Fedewa, our pole sitter this evening, a 6th place finish. Not what you wanted. Looked like you had the thing in the bag, but that was early on, Tim.
It was. You know, we lost radios right off the get-go, and I couldn't communicate with Vic and the guys, and that really hurt us, you know. But had a good car anyhow, and I just needed to communicate. It's how important it is to communicate. I'd like to say hi to my mom. She's at home. I wish she was here. It was a good run for us. We just need to keep banging off these top 10s, and like I said, I thought we had a car to beat, but wasn't going to happen. But at least my buddy won, and Birdie, he'll be a little better to deal with this week. He's been awful ornery, man. They needed it bad.
Okay, of course, he's teammates with Randy LaJoie. I will let you know that we have an all call out for Lyndon Amick. There are so many people down here. We just cannot find him, but if we do see him, we'd like to interview him.
I have a feeling they're celebrating inside the Team 35 hauler, because that is a well-deserved 4th place run tonight for Lyndon Amick. Plenty more to talk about for Myrtle Beach Speedway, and we'll be right back. Well, it has not been the kindest of seasons for two-time Busch Series champion Randy LaJoie. His run at Las Vegas ended up on his head. Had a couple of on-track skirmishes. The 74 car had come home on the hook many times this year, but all that has changed tonight. A victory at Myrtle Beach Speedway for the two-time Busch Series champion Randy LaJoie and Larry Pearson. What do you think? Is this a team that really has a chance at winning another championship this year?
I honestly do. All they needed was a little boost, and they got that tonight, and I think it will carry over till next week, and for the week's on. I mean, we'll find out next week. If he has a good run next week, then you better watch out for him.
They're a team certainly not to be denied. They've won 3 of these championships in a row. It's hard to repeat in any sport. They've done it twice now and bidding for 4 straight with Randy LaJoie here this season. Back to the garage area. Mike Hogwood.
Well, he didn't win, but it might have been a victory. Lyndon Amick, I want you to talk about the emotion that you felt after Daytona and then how this team has come back. What a turnaround in the space of a couple of months for you.
Yeah, it all started in Daytona when we missed the race, and from there on, I had the crew chief leave, and then for Atlanta, we found Buddy Barnes. And, you know, from then on, we went to Bristol, and we wrecked in qualifying, didn't have a backup car, and he said, wait a minute. He said, we need to rebuild here. And that's what we've been doing. We've been taking time off and rebuilding. And, you know, I got to thank God first and thank these guys. They worked hard. Even when we weren't racing, they kept their confidence up, and they kept confidence in me up, and we've been working hard to get this done.
Buddy, I want you to come in here a minute. Buddy Barnes, he's a guy who has come in and kind of taken the reins of this. You saw something in this guy, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. The very first time I went to the racetrack, I saw the kid could drive a race car, but I did know that we had to have some good equipment up under him. And tonight proved that. With the guys, like he said, they have worked awful hard, and we hadn't been racing. So it's hard to keep your confidence up and your focus on what you're trying to do, but they did, and it proved it tonight.
What does the 4th place do for you and the team here for the rest of the season? This is really the beginning now of the rest of your season.
Yeah, it sure is. You know, this is what we've been working for. And top 5s, like I said before, top 5s lead to wins, and wins lead to championships. And that's what we're working for. You know, it just means the world to me, just confidence in myself and confidence in these guys that we knew we could do it. It's just a matter of proving to these other guys that we can do it. And hopefully we took a step towards that tonight.
Buddy, I asked you during the race, I said, are you surprised at what you're doing? Because a lot of people were. You get out there and run in the top 5 after not being ready. You said no. You expected it because of the hard work in the shop.
Well, I saw it, and I knew that we could come down here. We came and tested, and testing is a lot. And when you know what kind of cars you've got, and I've been around a long time, and I knew when we come down here that we had a really good car. And like I said, it showed. We ran in the top 5 all night, and I couldn't be more tickled. I got to say hello to Barry Dodson. Good luck tomorrow, buddy.
All right, Buddy Barnes and Lyndon Amick, they're going to be a force to be dealt with the rest of this Busch season. Back upstairs.
They certainly will be, and it's nice to see Lyndon Amick, a fine young man and a race driver on the rise, no doubt about it. 18 of 31 races in the NASCAR Busch Series campaign complete. McLaughlin is your point leader once again. He's held the lead early in the year. Look at that, 5 points back to second, a dozen back to third. Randy LaJoie gained some ground tonight, not a whole lot, but he is 4th and he's in contention. And moving to 5th, his teammate Tim Fedewa. Elton Sawyer, Buckshot Jones, Phil Parsons, and the Sadler brothers round out the top 10. Only 503 points separate the first 10. That's a pretty tight battle with 13 races left in the season. Back downstairs, Randy Pemberton.
Well, Matt Kenseth loses the point lead, but only by 5 points. Not quite the run that you wanted. You finished 8th tonight.
Yeah, that's for sure. Pretty disappointing. We built a brand new race car to come here again, and really thought we had something. Never really had it right all day. A lot of things went on out there tonight. It was pretty rough racing, and have to finish 8th and go on to California next week. But Lyco Chevrolet, you know, ran decent, just wasn't, you know, near as good as the good guys.
Do you know when you finish a race like that and the car wasn't quite right? Do you have it in your mind already what the problems were?
No, honestly, if I knew what the problems were, we would have been a whole bunch better. We threw everything we had at it today, and just never could hit the right combination again. So I'm not sure what the answer is. We'll just have to do our homework a little bit better and hopefully figure these things out a little better by the time we get to South Boston.
Well, he's got plenty of time in the future to figure things like this out. He has only got just about a little over 20 starts now in this series, so hasn't been that long. Let's go back upstairs to Larry and the guys.
2 victories already in the season for Matt Kenseth, and he had been the point leader. Gives it up, but probably only temporarily. Kenseth is a guy who certainly will be in the hunt down to the end of the season. Getting ready to go to a super speedway at Fontana next week, these Busch Series teams are. Back with more at Myrtle Beach in a moment. Huge month of speed for you here on TNN Motorsports next week. Friday night, TNN Motor Madness, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. The Pennzoil World of Outlaws, the Eldora Clash. It's a prelim to the Kings Royal. Friday night, 8 Eastern, TNN Motor Madness. Hope you can join us. Randy LaJoie in Victory Lane with some of his family members enjoying the applause. Been a long time coming. Randy Pemberton, I think, said 26 starts. He'd gone without a win since last fall. The 2-time defending Busch Series champion will show you the running order once again as the checkered flag fell. That was a great battle between Randy LaJoie and David Green, and both those drivers come away, you've got to think, satisfied. Disappointment for David Green, Larry Pearson, that he didn't win, but he knows he's on the right track.
Absolutely. I mean,
it has been a while since he's back in the Busch Series. He led. He should have won the race, I think, but the late caution actually cost him the race. So, you know, it's one of those deals.
One of those deals indeed, and the cards were dealt just right for Randy LaJoie tonight. Huge crowd here, filing out now, heading home from Myrtle Beach. We'll do the same in a moment. Randy LaJoie in victory lane, holding the winner's trophy tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Great night of racing. Hope you enjoyed our coverage here tonight. Terrific battle between LaJoie and David Green as they came down to the line. Green led late in the going. Restart with 8 to go. LaJoie cooled his tires, got up on Green, got underneath him, and grabbed the victory. His first win of 1998. Randy LaJoie spins after taking the checkered flag and says hi to the fans. Thanks for being with us tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway. We'll see you tomorrow on race day at noon Eastern. For Larry Pearson, Randy Pemberton, Mike Hogwood, I'm Rick Benjamin. Congratulations to Randy LaJoie, your winner tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway.